Welcome, Cancers, to your June 15th to June 21st forecast. And for you, the most influential transit is going to be the mark of summer. And that is also going to be the longest day of the year. But it'll be the summer solstice that occurs on June 20th. And that's going to highlight your love and relationships. So it's a time of renewal. And you're being guided to embrace new beginnings and personal connections and nurture existing bonds. Okay, so this is you creating balance and trusting and knowing that things that may be coming to the surface and things that may trigger you are shedding a light on where you're at in your journey and how you are at this time. So it's really offering you the opportunity to address any areas where you feel like you can make adjustments, or you can change your viewpoints, your thoughts, anything that you can let go of as well, as it's relating to your relationships. This is really, again, just shining that light on who you are and the energy that you're putting out into the universe at this time. We also have justice here, so this is also allowing you to create some sort of balance in your relationships. And this may even be like if you're not in a relationship, right? Creating that balance within yourself, like knowing that, okay, you can tend to, and this is just an example, but knowing that, okay, sometimes you may not communicate as constructively, or you let your emotions get into the way, or, you overthink things, or you're over analytical on things. So this is, again, just creating those opportunities for you to see areas where you can make adjustments and you can create more balance. Okay, so we also have the Princess of Swords here. So you are being guided here as well to take a really direct approach and be bold in your adjustments and in your ideas for growth here and expansion. So you may have some ideas from your partner as far as like what makes them comfortable and what they feel that you should work on together, or you may decide some of these things on your own. You may already have some ideas in mind of things that you do want to work on, but this is you actually taking that inspired action toward those things and letting go of any judgments about that, any opinions, really just staying focused on the goals that you want to accomplish. So this is also, there is a need here, and this may already be happening, so just if it doesn't resonate, then don't take it. But there may be a need here to be more emotionally stable and emotionally intelligent here, just as a whole, like in your conversations, in your decisions, in your actions. So that opportunity does exist here. So if you're able to really regulate your emotions here, there's a lot of success that can come to you as a result of that. Okay, we also have the Eight of Swords here. So this is, I see this balance here going back and forth here. So, there may be just a few areas where you feel like you could approach situations better. You could have a better strategy to working through your problems and addressing any issues that you feel like come up and need to be addressed. So again, there's likely a better approach that you can take towards that, and you will have to decide what this is referring to and what areas it's speaking of. But yeah, there's definitely some better options here for you to deal with conflict and contrast and challenges. That may require you to be more honest with yourself and to be more honest about the way that you are representing yourself in these situations that come up, these challenges that arise. So it could be you taking a moment to reflect upon that, knowing that you're seeing the reflection of you in these instances and circumstances. So just taking a moment to reflect upon that, to not just see like, oh, okay, yeah, I did overreact there, but oh well, and then move on. Like, no, this is after you're shown that and you realize that and recognize that, gaining perspective. Okay, so how can I not do that in the future? Or how can I adjust my communication so, I don't come off with that particular tone and that spiraled into something bigger, a bigger, issue or topic of discussion for us later. So again, this is about you just being completely honest here and recognizing areas where you do want to see some growth in yourself. What else? So we also have the King of Wands here as well. Okay, so this is also you identifying the areas that you feel passionate about. So what is most important to you in your relationships? And this doesn't have to be from the perspective of like, you know, what is most important for us to change right now? It can be, it absolutely can be. It's going to depend on the person and where you are and how you feel your relationship is. But, you know, this is also about you focusing on the things in the areas where you feel most passionate about. So this could be you also creating more balance to bring in more things that you and your partner feel passionate about and want to do more of. Okay? So it could be either or both even. So what do we have here? So we have barriers, yeah. So this is bringing up those barriers, and to me this is about, again, just being honest about where you are, and as that mirror is reflecting upon you and you're recognizing and realizing like, oh, you know, I do tend to do these things, or I do act this way, or I see how damaging that, you know, me taking this type of tone or this approach to resolving issues can be for my partner or the family unit or even me. You recognizing that and not allowing that to stay there. You making those changes and adjustments and saying like, okay, well, you know, I'm going to communicate without yelling, or I'm going to communicate more constructively. We're not going to call names or anything like that. So again, these are just examples of ways that you can look at things that are going on and look at your situation and identify opportunities for you to adjust and to have growth. So let's look at some challenges now here. We also have the Emperor showing up. Okay, so this to me is calling on you to bring in more divine feminine aspects into your conversation. So this could be, or into your relationships as well. So this could be just being a little more understanding, being more emotionally intelligent, being more compassionate, having more empathy here. And this is not only for your partner, this is for you as well. Okay, so that empathy, that understanding, that compassion that you show others or you show your partner, you're being guided to really show that to yourself as well. And forgiveness is also showing up in my mind here. I need to speak to that because this is about you taking that time to forgive yourself and others, not just yourself, but forgiving all parties involved and moving forward and taking inspired action in the direction that you do want things to go in. We also have the Six of Cups coming out here as well. So yeah, there could definitely be some contrast that comes up here this week, and it's really going to be about you choosing the right strategy and the right approach for you to work through those problems in a constructive way that benefits all parties involved. Okay. What else? We have the Four of Cups here. So this could also be, there may be a little bit of a challenge of someone, you or your partner, really being focused on the past or holding on to things that aren't necessarily serving you anymore, or that aren't going to continue to provide the value that they have previously. So it's like you may think that it's good, it's beneficial to solve problems in this way, but then you're finding out here that that's actually not beneficial. You may think it's helpful to you to, you know, cut yourself off from people or to not pursue a particular person or area because of something that's happened in the past. And, you know, that could absolutely be right, and that could be the right decision for you. For some of you, it's about recognizing and realizing like, okay, not every person is this way, and I am going to open myself up to allow people to show me who they are as opposed to judging them up front. Okay, so again, that's not going to be for every situation, every scenario, because if you're seeing those triggers and those red flags come up, then, you know, that's something that does need to be paid attention to and addressed. But then there may be opportunities where you're seeing that, like, okay, this is really a great person. We really align in many ways. But, I am seeing that I'm triggered by some things that are happening here. And that's likely a reflection of me and what I've been through. And so I need to look within and do some work within. So that's the type of situation I'm talking about here. Not anything that's going to keep you stuck and stagnant or in your comfort zone or going down the same path that just hasn't yielded any results, any positive results for you, or not very many positive results for you. Okay, so does that make sense? Like the difference here of what I'm talking about? If not, just let me know. But yeah, that's going to come up as a challenge for you. So just so you know. We also have the Five of Pentacles here as well. So there could also be, I feel like immediately I'm hearing like finances coming into play here in some way. So that may be a source of contention for you as you're having discussions and working through things this week with your partner or just with yourself or your family, that family environment or unit in some way. So this could also be just this focus in a particular area that it's like it's bigger than that. So for some of you, and this is just an example, you may say like, oh, I need a date night this week or something, but it's like, well, there's some other things that are in the background that are really kind of causing this disconnect, or for you to become more and more detached over time with your partner. So it's not necessarily about like, oh, we haven't had a date night in a while. It's about like, hey, there's these other issues that we need to find time to talk through and work on. Okay, so that's just an example of like, yeah, there may be a little too much focus on like just doing things because it's just a mechanical part of the process and you think you should be doing them, when you really could be working on the triggers for you and your partner and addressing those. So that would be more beneficial to do at this time. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. Let's see what else. So we have you trying not to resist the changes that come your way and don't delay the inevitable. So that is a wonderful message here, because we are talking about some contrast here that may come up, and also that attempt to sort of like gloss over what the real underlying issues are and just try to make things happy and just, again, not focus on what the true issues are here. So we have that message as confirmation. I love it when it comes out confirming what we're talking about here. So this is like, don't skip over the hard parts or what you perceive to be the hard parts, because you never even know. They may not be that difficult to discuss and work through with your partner. Or it may be, and we'll look at this in the underlying fears, but it may be areas where you can grow as well. Okay, and there may be this resistance to that. So this is about being open and honest and putting everything out there from both perspectives, and you working on things as a team. Okay, and of course, this. You don't have to be in a relationship to take this guidance. You can just, work on it within yourself as well. Okay. So let's move to underlying fears here. Five of Cups. Okay. So yeah, so some of you may just quite literally have a fear that this may break your relationship up, or that that's where you're headed here. What else? So we have the Knight of Swords here. Some of you may just feel like taking a bold approach, like communicating how you feel and what your needs are, may not end well, basically. May be like a deterrent to your partner. You may feel like your partner is not going to be on board with these things that you need. They're not going to be open to them. So some of you may feel that way. We are going to get some messages here, but we're just looking at what underlying fears may exist, so and you can recognize them as they're coming up. We also have the Knight of Wands here. So some of you may also fear that the passion's gone, or that your partner or even you may be considering alternatives or others out there, or may be wanting to connect with others in some way. You may have a fear that if you do talk about some changes that you want to see, and even if it's like within your own self that you're going to work on, you may have this thought or this underlying fear that your partner is not going to be on board with that or support you in that way. Okay, what else? So we have the Ace of Swords. So yeah, it could just be particular things that you need and want, and just your strategy, your path, the plan that you have for yourself as it moves forward, like where you see yourself in 5 years. Some of you may have this underlying fear that your partner may not be on board with that. They may not have the same goals or ideas in mind here. Okay. Okay. So let's move to potential outcomes here. Okay, wonderful. So we have the King of Pentacles here. So we definitely have opportunity for success. We have opportunity for maturity, and for you both to step into that space where you both feel protected, you both feel provided for, you both feel secure in the relationship, you both feel like you're, not feel, you know that you're being loyal to each other, and that you're working on one accord. You have the same goals in mind here. So this is really that evolution and maturity of the relationship that has the opportunity to happen here through these discussions, through you working through this contrast. So we have the Three of Pentacles here. So this may result in a new approach here to your thinking, to your relationship, to how you're working through things, to how you are connecting with each other. So I view this as like a revival of that and a strengthening of your bond together. Okay, so that's definitely a wonderful result of having these discussions. What else here? So we do have the Queen of Cups. Okay, so we have the King and Queen energy here. So I feel like you incorporating in some divine masculine and divine feminine aspects into your discussions and into your collaboration process is going to result in success here. So I'm seeing again that balance here happening. So you may be assertive when you need to be assertive. You may be understanding. You may be empathetic when you need to be empathetic. So this is you finding the right emotion to have and to display, and the right communication with your partner so that you are able to work through any challenges or contrast. And again, stay on the same page. So we have Four of Wands here as well. Okay, so Four of Swords. Four of Swords here. Okay. All right, so just be careful that throughout this process that you're not really missing the point of it. The point of it is to strengthen your bond and connect more deeply with yourself, within, and also with your partner. So that it's like you're continuing to work and to grow and expand your consciousness separately, but also continuing to strengthen that bond that you have with your partner and that partnership as well. Okay? So just be mindful of that. Be mindful of the areas of focus here and what's important and a priority to you, because there could be this tendency to overlook the opportunity that is really presented to you here to have a more meaningful relationship. So don't like go down too far in the weeds to where like you're just not being productive in your communications, or just the conversations that you're having just aren't productive. Okay, so if that is the case, then there may be a different strategy. There may be a different approach. There may even need to be a little bit of time in between these discussions that you are having here. So you will know what is right for you and your relationship. Okay. All right, so let's see what other messages we have here. So we have the Soul Cage with escaping from captivity and restriction. So I love this because I feel like this is like you setting yourself free with honesty, with openness, with recognizing and confronting those triggers head on and choosing a different version of you that handles these challenges, that handles this contrast differently. This is letting yourself outside of that cage, choosing a different approach, and going with it, and trusting in it, and not allowing yourself to say like, well, I'm just going to do this because this has always worked, and that's the end of it. No, this is about you trying something different, coming out of your comfort zone. So we have healing happening here, and you recognizing your powerful healing gifts and having faith in your abilities and your path as a leader and healer. Okay, wonderful. So that's definitely the confirmation for me that you do have the strength and the bravery, the knowledge and the wisdom to work through these challenges with your partner, if that is something that you desire to do, if that is something your partner desires to do as well. So don't be thinking that like, oh, well, you don't have the, emotional intelligence to work through conversations. You could Google emotional intelligence and you could jot down a couple things and you can, incorporate that into your conversations. Like, it doesn't have to be like you need to, have this doctorate degree in communications to have effective conversations. That's absolutely not the case. So recognize the power that is within you. And the Magician card is coming to mind. Like, you have all of the gifts that you need to be successful here and to have successful relationships and to get back to this state of remembering yourself as healed, whole, and complete already. Okay? What else? So we're having you release negativity. That's wonderful here, because that is a part of like all of this process here, and that is the reason why in the first place you're triggered. It's the reason why the mirror is up and you're seeing exactly the energy that you're putting out, to allow you to say, okay, what about this is not true for me and doesn't align to my authentic self, and I want to change. What are those things here? Okay, what else? So we also have a reality check coming into play here. So that goes here with this Eight of Swords here, because that's what I feel like this is. Like, you also being open and honest about yourself and the things that you're doing that you could make an adjustment with to grow and expand your consciousness here. Okay. All right, Cancers, those are the messages I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week.